Imagine this for a moment. You're at home, enjoying the quiet, when suddenly the phone rings. You don't rush to pick it up. In fact, a part of you hopes it just stops. Maybe it's the doorbell next time, and you find yourself pausing, almost, hoping whoever it is will just go away. You're not angry, and it's not that you don't care. It's just something has changed. You don't feel the need to be around people like you used to. You prefer your own space, your own thoughts, and that's okay. Maybe you've asked yourself, am I becoming antisocial? Am I pushing people away? Well, you're not alone. As we age, our relationship with social interaction naturally changes, and guess what? It's completely normal. In fact, it's not just normal. It's often a sign of personal growth, self-awareness, and wisdom. Today, we're diving into 6 powerful psychological reasons why you might find yourself avoiding people more as you get older. And why that's not just okay, but completely understandable. If you've ever wondered why your social circle seems smaller or why you prefer quiet mornings over loud gatherings, stay with us. This is going to be eye-opening. But before we dive deeper, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Let's build a community where we understand and support each other through every stage of life. Your stories matter, and we'd love to hear from you. Now let's get to the heart of why this shift happens. Reason 1. Your tolerance for nonsense drops to near zero. Think back to your younger years. You probably put up with a lot. Bad friends, gossip, pointless small talk, even family. Drama. You went along with it because that's what you did. Maybe you didn't want to rock the boat, or maybe you just didn't realize how draining it was. But as you get older, something profound happens. You wake up one day and think, I just don't have the patience for this anymore. It's not about being rude or unkind. It's about choosing peace over pointless conflict. You've spent decades listening to people complain about the same problems without doing anything to change them. You've sat through conversations where you couldn't get a word in, where your feelings didn't matter, and one day it just clicks. You decide you're done with it. It's not bitterness, it's wisdom. You recognize emotional noise when you hear it, and you finally give yourself permission to mute it. You've learned that your energy is precious, and you're no longer willing to waste it on negativity or people who don't value your presence. The beautiful thing is, this isn't about becoming a recluse or shutting the world out. It's about setting boundaries that protect your peace. You're not distancing yourself from everyone, just from the chaos that used to drain you. And guess what? That's not just normal. It's self-care. Your time and energy are worth protecting. Have you noticed this change in yourself? If so, you're not alone. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could help someone else feel understood. Reason 2. Your priorities shift. Peace over popularity. There's a time in life when being social feels like a necessity. You go to parties, keep up with friends, and stay connected because that's what everyone around you is doing. You want to feel included, liked, maybe even admired. But as the years go by, something shifts deep inside. You start asking yourself different questions. Who actually brings me joy when I talk to them? Who drains my energy without giving anything back? Who can I trust to be real and supportive? You stop worrying about being popular and you start caring about being at peace. It's no longer about how many people you know. It's about how many of them truly matter. And sometimes that number is smaller than you ever thought it would be. When you were younger, your social calendar might have been full. Lunches, dinners, gatherings, you kept saying yes because that's what was expected. But now you value silence. You value one good conversation over 10 shallow ones. You'd rather spend an afternoon with someone who truly understands you than a whole day with people who don't. And that's not loneliness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that you don't need to surround yourself with noise to feel fulfilled. It's choosing authenticity over appearances. This change can feel uncomfortable at first, especially when old friends don't understand why you're not as available as you used to be. They might take it personally or think you've changed in a negative way, but the truth is you have changed, you've grown. You're no longer looking for validation from the outside because you've started finding it within yourself. You're prioritizing your mental and emotional health. And that's a beautiful thing. Have you found yourself being more selective with your social interactions as you've aged? Let us know in the comments. Your story might just inspire someone else to choose peace over pressure. Reason 3. Grief and loss. Change your social world. One of the most profound and heartbreaking aspects of aging is loss. Friends move away, loved ones pass on, relationships that once seemed unbreakable fade into the past. It's not that you wanted these changes, they just happened, quietly, over time. Each loss takes a little piece of your social world with it. Maybe you had a group of friends you always met for coffee, but now there's one less chair at the table. Maybe a beloved sibling or lifelong friend has passed, and their absence leaves a quiet space that no one else can fill. Grief doesn't just affect your heart. It affects your entire social landscape. You find yourself more guarded, more protective of your emotions. You become cautious about forming new bonds because the pain of losing the old ones still lingers. It's not that you're afraid to care. It's that you know how much it hurts when the people you care about are no longer there. This shift isn't depression. It's a natural response to deep emotional experiences. Some people might not understand it. They might wonder why you don't go out as much or why you don't seem as open as before. But those who truly understand loss know that your heart needs time to heal, and sometimes that healing happens in solitude. It's not about giving up on connections. It's about being more intentional. You choose quality over quantity because you've learned how precious genuine relationships are. You'd rather have one meaningful conversation than a dozen superficial ones. And that's okay. It's okay to give yourself permission to grieve in your own way. It's okay to build a smaller, more supportive circle where you feel safe. You've earned that right. Have you ever felt like your social world has gotten smaller because of loss? If so, share your thoughts in the comments. Your words might just comfort someone who feels the same. Reason 4. Social fatigue becomes real. Choosing rest over obligation. There was a time when socializing felt effortless. You could go from one event to the next, chatting, laughing, catching up without a second thought. But now, the thought of spending hours in a crowded room, trying to keep up with multiple conversations, can feel completely exhausting. It's not that you've become lazy or antisocial. It's that your social energy isn't what it used to be. As the years pass, your tolerance for constant interaction naturally decreases. You find yourself feeling worn out after just an hour of chit-chat, especially if the conversation doesn't feel meaningful. Have you ever noticed how a simple lunch with a talkative friend can leave you needing a nap afterward? Or how a family gathering filled with competing voices and chaotic energy leaves you mentally drained for the rest of the day? This isn't just a preference. It's a psychological response called social fatigue. It's the brain's way of saying, I've had enough. You've spent decades navigating social dynamics, mediating conflicts, and accommodating everyone's feelings. It's only natural that you need more time to recharge, and that's okay. You're not being selfish for choosing rest over obligation. You're being mindful of your limits. You've earned the right to protect your peace, even if it means saying no more often than yes. You might notice that some people don't understand this change. They may think you're distancing yourself or becoming difficult, but in reality, you're just taking care of your mental and emotional health. You're allowing yourself the space to breathe, reflect, and simply be. If you've ever felt guilty for not being as social as you used to be, let that guilt go. You're allowed to prioritize your well-being. Sometimes that means staying home, resting your mind, and choosing solitude over chaos. Have you experienced social fatigue as you've gotten older? Share your thoughts below. It helps to know we're not alone in this. You know yourself better, protecting your inner peace. There's a beautiful, subtle strength that comes with age, the ability to truly know yourself. After decades of living, loving, losing, and learning, you start to see things with incredible clarity. You know what lifts your spirit and what drags you down. You know what your boundaries are, and you're finally unafraid to enforce them. You no longer feel obligated to put yourself in situations that go against your nature. If small talk drains you, you avoid it. If certain people constantly stir up old wounds or drama, you create distance, not to punish them, but to protect yourself. In your younger years, you might have stayed in situations where you felt uncomfortable, just to be polite. You might have agreed to meet people even when your heart wasn't in it, but now you've learned that your peace is far more valuable than pleasing others. This change can surprise those who have always known you as the reliable one or the peacemaker. They might feel hurt that you're not as available or as eager to join every gathering. But this transformation isn't about abandoning anyone. It's about choosing yourself for once. Think about it. You've spent years giving parts of yourself to others. Your time, your attention, your energy. Now, you're learning to give those things back to yourself. You're making choices that honor your well-being, and that's a powerful act of self-respect. Some people might not understand this version of you, and that's okay. You're not living to meet their expectations anymore. You're living to feel content in your own skin, in your own space. If you've started prioritizing your own peace over others' opinions, you're not alone. Let us know if this resonates with you. Your story could help someone else find the courage to do the same. Time feels more precious. You become selective. When you're young, time feels limitless. You can spend hours chatting, hanging out, or running errands without thinking twice. But as you grow older, something shifts. You become acutely aware that time is a finite resource, and suddenly every minute matters. An hour doesn't feel like just an hour anymore. It feels valuable, almost sacred. You start to notice how easily time slips away when you're caught up in unimportant conversations or social obligations that drain you. You realize that not every invitation deserves a yes, and not every relationship needs maintaining. This realization doesn't come from a place of bitterness. It comes from experience. You know what it's like to give your time freely and feel unappreciated. You know the cost of investing your energy in people who don't reciprocate, and you've learned that your presence is something to be cherished, not taken for granted. So you become more selective. You choose to spend time with people who uplift you, who genuinely care, who add value to your life rather than take from it. You start saying no without guilt and yes with intention. This can be misunderstood by others. They might think you're becoming withdrawn or losing interest. But in reality, you're just choosing quality over quantity. You're focusing on deep connections rather than spreading yourself thin. It's not about cutting people out. It's about making space for what truly matters. Meaningful conversations, peaceful moments, and relationships that feel mutual and supportive. And yes, it's okay to prioritize your own well-being. After all, you've spent years taking care of others. It's about time you take care of yourself too. Have you started valuing your time more as you've aged? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might just give someone else the courage to make their own well-being a priority. Final reflection and empowerment. As you grow older, it's natural to feel that shift, that quiet desire to be alone more often, to choose solitude over social noise, and to value peace over popularity. You might catch yourself wondering if something's wrong, questioning whether you're losing touch or becoming less sociable. But here's the beautiful truth. You're not distancing yourself from life. You're just becoming more discerning. You're refining your relationships, curating your social world to reflect the person you've become. It's not a sign of weakness or isolation. It's a sign of growth, of understanding your own worth. Think of it as stepping back, not stepping away. You're making room for deeper connections, real conversations, and moments that matter. You're valuing quality over quantity, depth over distraction. The world might not always understand this change. Friends or family might think you're pulling away, but in reality, you're just choosing a different kind of closeness. One that feels authentic and fulfilling. You're not pushing people out. You're welcoming a quieter, richer, more intentional way of being. And here's something truly important. You deserve this peace. You've spent years giving to others, attending to their needs, being present when they needed you. Now, it's your turn to nurture yourself. You're not being selfish, you're honoring your journey. If you found yourself resonating with any of these reasons, take a deep breath and know you're not alone. There's a whole world of people who feel exactly as you do, who are choosing themselves after decades of putting others first. You've earned this calm. You've earned the right to say no without guilt, to embrace solitude without shame, and to cherish the small, meaningful moments that make your soul feel at home. If you found comfort or insight in this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Join our community where we explore these deeper feelings and support each other through every stage of life. Your journey, your stories, and your experiences are valued here. And please share your thoughts in the comments. Has your social world changed as you've gotten older? What have you learned about yourself along the way? Let's keep this conversation going, because together we can redefine what it means to age with grace and wisdom. Thank you for being here. You matter, and your story is important.